Game of the day. Spritemare versus GetGood. Javier versus Javier.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Semi-original guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another lively game of the day. Today, folks, we are on Titan's Rise. This is a high funds matchup with triple base, airport, and comm tower support. And we have ourselves a Javier Mir on this one, folks. Now, Javier in high funds is a little bit lower tier than he normally would be. I believe he's like tier 3. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're standing, folks. That's where we're standing. Either tier 2 or tier 3. Either way, it doesn't matter, because whatever tier we're in, this is the game that we got, folks. We got Spritemare versus GetGood. Two very good players when it comes to Advanced Wars in general. Now, when we take a look at this map, folks, as we see here, there are no pre-deployed bases. We are not going to be having any standard infantry builds today, folks. We are going to have to capture those bases. So this infantry is going to be capturing this base over here. Now, this infantry has a choice. Very interesting choice indeed. Now, it could go for this base here, or could go for this base here. The obvious choice that you should do is to move onto the mountain, then capture this base, and then double back over here onto the mountain, and then capture this base. If you do it in the opposite order, it is going to delay the capture of the second base. So you want to make sure that you will always go right to left or left to right, depending on what side of the map you are on, folks. But after that, you have a strong side versus weak side dynamic, where one base plus an airport maybe is going to be responsible for securing your lab, possibly holding on to these contested properties, and then holding off the devastating force of two bases over here, plus potentially an airport that could go over here. Now, this map does have a pre-deployed black vote here, which blocks off this base from your opponent being able to go over here and directly attack you. But aside from that, it doesn't really do too much. You are able to get a few little cheeky heals out of it, but that is about it, folks. Aside from that, I do believe that artillery are fairly okay on this map. It is slightly open still. The middle is very open. And it could be potentially difficult to grab these properties if you don't go for them fairly early here. There is also a pre-deployed anti-air unit on this map that can constantly attack this pipe seam. It does not have enough firepower to actually break open the pipe seam on its own, so it will require a little bit of assistance in order to get through here. Mainly, the purpose of this anti-air is so that you can't just bomber spam and then ascend the bombers into the mid to go to either side. Now, if you want to build a bomber, you have to destroy the anti-air first, and then you have to destroy the pipe, and then you can have access to the center of the map here, folks. But more likely than not, if you are going to be building the classy boy of the sky, you can just send them this way, or you can just send them this way. So aside from that, folks, not really anything else to note about this map. It's pretty straightforward. It's a HQ rush. That is what it is, folks. That is what we were dealing with here today. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and see what went down in the live league today. On the first few days, folks, as stated, we have no infantry builds. But the infantry are already on the field, and that is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. Number 2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for all that hot live league action, folks. Both players have immediately gone and done the correct thing and have gotten their right and left base respectively first. Now both players are now pushing the infantry into the center. Like I said, it is a little bit difficult to grab these properties if you leave them for too long, so I do suggest going for those pretty much as quickly as possible, if at all possible. Well, we shall see. Another thing interesting about this map is the comm tower is actually slightly delayed, because you can go for the comm tower first, but if you go for the comm tower first, then you lose a lot of income, and it makes it so your opponent is able to get those tech builds a lot faster than you. So it's almost worthwhile just to delay the comm tower for as long as humanly possible. and then grab it like afterwards. Now, considering that one player here, GetGood, is already capping the comm tower, that basically forces Spritemare to now have to capture the comm tower. He's got to get it. If he doesn't, we're going to be having some big problems here. A base firepower CO versus a 10-10 CO is not really a good time. I would not suggest it. The other thing about this map as well, folks, is you have these back properties over here, which are also kind of delayed. You really want to be getting units to the front lines as quickly as possible, so spending a little bit of time and waiting to capture those back properties can be a good thing as well. As we see here, it looks like GetGood has already threw a tank into the fray and has first struck Spritemare. Spritemare has been first struck, and he has also not gone for the comm tower. He's going for the comm tower now, but if he goes in and attacks right now, it's not really going to be a great trade. It won't be a great trade because he's dealing with 10-10 Javier now. Tier 1 versus Tier 4 now, folks. That's what we got going on. Alright, we got an infantry strike over here. Not really too much damage, but, you know, it is what it is. And, ooh, interesting. So he is inviting GetGood to come in and first strike his tank here. He's like, you can go ahead and strike my tank, sir. Go ahead. It's there. It's open. It's vulnerable. Go ahead and take it. You can even take the attack from a forest, which would be 30% defense right now for GetGood. But GetGood, you know, he's not going to go in for that kind of an attack, folks, because that is a fool's errand, as they say, because that would be 3 tanks versus 1. And we all know how that song and dance goes, folks. We have all, once upon a time, perhaps overextended in Advanced Wars, and have gotten our front line just completely obliterated. So it's not really worth going in for that sort of an attack. Boom, comm tower captured right away. And there goes an infantry, and very interesting here. Boom, big old strike right there. Now this tank in particular right now will have 130% defense versus the artillery unit here. So just to give you guys a little look-see here, you know, it is going to be able to do 46 to 51% damage still, but that defense definitely does come into play. Now, if you're playing as any other CO, it's going to be doing 69 to 77% damage. But Javier, you know, he's got privilege in that sense, so, you know, he's doing pretty good for himself. Ooh, front shifts a tank over to the opposite side, and it's putting pressure on capturing that lab. Very interesting, very clever stuff indeed. But, as we see here, that tank has been struck down. 6 HP is what it's sitting at, and GetGood follows Spritemare's tank into the center of the map with 3 tanks of his own. That is very spooky stuff, folks. However, 2 of these tanks could potentially be first struck right now. So I'm very curious to see what Spritemare is going to do in response to this, because now we have an aerial battle as well, folks. The battlecopters have made their way onto the field. Neither player has attacked the pipe seam because, you know, why would you want to do that? That's silly. Absolutely silly. Let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. It can be worth it though, depending. You know, very much depending. Spritemare, he is going in for it, folks. He is going in. He does the double attack, and this is actually a very good attack right now too, because now he's got 2 tanks plus copter versus essentially what you could refer to as like 3 tanks right now. So all things considered, that is pretty good. It's pretty good. I like the attack. Spritemare definitely on the offensive here right now. GetGood probably should have just held the tanks back here and put pressure on the HQ region. Now he's in a little bit of a pickle, folks. He's in a little bit of a pickle. Oh, what the heck? Curious, very curious. So he's going to delete the black boat. Now the main reason why he's deleting the black boat is clearly because he's planning on putting the battlecopter there. Yeah, just to get a little bit of extra movement out of there. Like I said, you don't really need the black boat. Like, it's not really doing much for you, so if you have to delete it to get a little bit of extra movement here, you know, it's not really the worst thing. GetGood doing a very nice attack over here as well. Alright. Big attacks on the tanks, folks. Big attacks on the tank. Now, that little push over here has been stopped. That push has been stopped, but there is definitely an attack on this tank here. No other real effective tank strike that could be taken, though, aside from just the one. So Spritemare might go in and take this attack. He could potentially pop Tower Shield and go in with the Battlecopter as well. Now, Tower Shield is a very interesting ability when it comes to like hobby air fights, air fights in general, right? Because if you pop the co-power, you're going to be able to do like a lot of damage. But if you swap it, the trade isn't really that bad. The Battlecopter is only going to be able to hit the other Battlecopter for maybe 4 or 6 damage, like in total. Gets counterattacked by like 2 or 3. So the trade isn't really all that bad. Here's the Tower Shield, folks. We got the Tower Shield. Spritemare is just going so aggressive up here in the north. Is now attacking an infantry, denying that income. Absolutely wild stuff. Brings the tanks forward. Absolutely no care or concern. Just going in and just hammering. Just hammering on the tanks. Very nice. This is a great move right here. So that makes every single tank over here super injured, but also brings forward the Battlecopter into a very aggressive position. This Battlecopter, like I said, it could go in and attack, but the trade is not going to be very good. Another infantry strike over here from Spritemare. And now we're 27 units to 24, but it is GetGood's turn. He's got 24,800 funds in the bank, 13 properties. Let's see what he does with this. Alright, goes in for the easy hit, then pops Tower Shield. And we are going to be seeing a little bit of a pillow fight now, folks. Does manage to get this KO, which is very nice. Artillery is just surviving. He's a survivor. He's a survivor, man, that's for sure. Oh, and there's that trade right there. So, you know, could have been worse, could have been better, but that's okay. Another Battlecopter is going to be able to come in here. Now it is really going to be up to Spritemare to do damage to this tank. You know, I think that's what he really has to do. But depending on what GetGood buys, he's going triple tank. Okay, so triple tank. Yeah, this is a little bit of a tricky situation here now. So if Spritemare pushes in, he could potentially attack this tank. But the consequences of that attack is going to be very, very bad. But let's see what he does, folks. He's a very aggressive player after all. Let's see what he manages to come up with. He's capping the properties, bringing the tanks back. Yeah, he's not going to be fighting into the... I say he's not going to be fighting into that, folks, but then he goes ahead and brings the tank forward, doing the damage, busting out another Battlecopter. Uses the anti-air to attack the tank. That does open up the anti-air to a strike from the tank over here. Ooh. Very curious indeed, folks. There is absolutely no tech ups on this map yet, folks. There's not a single tech unit available on the map. But GetGood with 28,000 funds in the bank. I wonder if he's the kind of guy that is going to get stinky up in here, folks. You never know. High funds, as much as I love it, like I said before, folks, it is definitely a stinky game mode. Them stinky Neo tanks do pop out every once in a while. And when I say every once in a while, I mean pretty much every single game. That was a triple attack on this infantry. One, look at this. 1, 2, 3. Brings the tank forward to attack the anti-air. So that basically does mean that those two tanks in the front line are gone. So they are definitely gone. An interrupt has happened in the middle as well. But the Battlecopter shift to the center of the map is definitely an interesting play, especially with the anti-air out of commission over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. However, it may seem like it's out of commission, but if Spritemare clears these tanks, anti-air does have an attack over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be a 3 HP anti-air into an 8 HP Battlecopter. Could do a hefty amount of damage, folks. Oh, get good, busting out the classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web, folks. The classy medium tank is on the field. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And there is that clear I was talking about, folks. Pops the tower shield. Now we are definitely going to be seeing an anti-air. 3 HP anti-air just crashing into this battlecopter without a doubt. Let's see it. Let's see it happen. How much damage is it going to do, folks? I believe it's going to do about 5 damage. That's my prediction. 4? Whatever. I'm close enough, folks. Close enough. I don't care. It's good enough. Good enough for me. Another infantry clear, and then the property continues to be captured here. Join caps. Sacrifices the infantry. Well, it doesn't really sacrifice, but attacks with the infantry into the healthy infantry. That is going to give Spritemare a little bit of breathing room when it comes to the properties being capped there. Another clear here. Another infantry strike. Just deny that income. Boss out the classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web of the classy medium tank. Ya flippin' love to see it, folks. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Alright, folks. Let's see what GetGood is going to do to counter this, because he's going to be fighting into tower shield for one thing, which is very difficult. This is why Javier mirrors are so pillow fightish, you know? They can be very interesting, but they're definitely a little bit pillow fightish, especially when it comes to those co-powers. The first person to pop the co-power has like a really good advantage. But then if the other player pops the co-power into the co-power, then that advantage kind of like, you know, a little bit, it flips a little bit, but not really too much. I still would say that the first person to pop tower shield gets more of an advantage than the second person, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. And that is, honestly, that's if GetGood pops the tower shield, which he does. He obviously does. Why would you not? Why would you not pop the tower shield? It goes for the attack on the anti-air, but it does minimal damage, only 40% damage. Not really too much at all. Oh, I think that's very, very far forward. Very far forward indeed. But a lot of healthy tanks on the front line. Ooh, Spritemare, he's got to watch out. He has to watch out right now, because there could be some terrible things that could occur right now. And the one terrible thing that could definitely occur would be a lab cap. Now, if Spritemare doesn't put anything like right beside the lab, there is definitely the possibility that he might be able to cap it. I don't know if he's going to, but he might be able to. And might be able to is enough of a deterrent, for me at least, to want to not put something there. Or want to put something there. Like, you know what I'm talking about, folks. Whatever. Don't at me. Alright, got the attack. Yeah, put it on the lab, 110%. Keep it on the lab. No, Spritemare. He busts out this soiled abomination. The soiled, stinky abomination that's on the field. Very, very good buy, though, I will say, because this guy right here, he is the pure stench of this unit is going to ward away these tanks who cannot even really run away. They can't get away from the stench. They are going to be stuck in a very, very stinky situation here. But the one thing that is very nice for GetGood is he's going to be able to flip a property here, because Spritemare was not able to stop this cap. So that property going to be... Oh, no, it's not going to be flipped. Okay, never mind. He's not going to be able to flip the property. Well, he might be able to flip it next turn, but it really just depends on if he's able to have the units available to do it. But with that overextension last turn, it is going to be incredibly difficult for him to hold that position. Unfortunately, he lost quite a bit of units there, but he busts out the Soiled Abomination now, folks. So there's a little bit of class, a little bit of stink in this game right now. Does it balance itself out? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see which unit falls first. Alright, Soiled one goes in. I believe that is a full interrupt. Yep, that is an interrupt, folks. Alright, clears a few more tanks in the middle of the map here over on day 15. Secures the property. Goes in for the clear and then first strikes the tank. Even though he's at lower HP, does it anyways because he does not care. He does not care, folks. He just goes in for the attacks that he sees, and that's it. That's all he does, man. That's all he does. Sees tank, attack tank. Triple tank buy today as well. Spritemare now at 26 units to GetGood's 18. Very dangerous situation here, folks, but it does appear like GetGood is going to be able to clear a few units here. Pops the tower shield, mid-turn tower shield. Is that a battlecopter strike? Yeah, battlecopter first strike over here. Now this tower shield is very well timed, mostly just due to the fact that the Neo tank and the medium tank might be able to front shift over here. Now medium tank's going to go back and defend the lab, which is perfectly fine. But the Neo tank being far forward here and sitting on a property, that is incredibly defensive, folks. Now let's take a little gander here and just see like what sort of a situation we would be dealing with here if Spritemare was the kind of guy to go in and attack. He would only be doing 24 to 27% damage, getting counterattacked by 51 to 58% damage. This, folks, is why you do not go for those engagements. They are not worth it if you're going to go for those engagements. But I can't help you. I can't help you if you're going to be going for those engagements. 7 HP anti-air could not finish the 9 HP copter because tower shield. Tower shield. What an ability, folks. Alright, we got some nice attacks over here on the western front. Going for the old double cap now. Very, very interesting. Now, it is possible for GetGood to stop both of these caps, at least temporarily, but if he stops both of the caps, whatever he goes to interrupt the caps with is doomed. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you, there's nothing that can stop that. I mean, at this point, you might as well just let the captures go through. I mean, you can at least deny one of them, but you can't deny both. Not without some major casualties, but we'll see. See, in GetGood, he knows that. He knows that. He knows that he can't go in there and attack because he's just going to get counterattacked into oblivion. Sometimes it's okay to be losing on income if you manage to get some really good engagements along the way. You can lose cities and lose income, and it's perfectly fine, folks. It really is. You can fight at a deficit of funds. It's not the easiest thing, but you can do it. But if you manage to destroy your opponent's entire army and they sacrifice a bunch of units just to grab a few properties, well, you know what? They can have those properties and you're just going to have your army and then wipe them out in the next couple turns. Plain and simple. Alrighty, we got another engagement over here. Boom! 1 HP infantry going in for that capture. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, interesting. Alright, well, that classy medium tank is probably going to be the first casualty. That is definitely going to be the first casualty. Oh, interesting. Okay. That saves it. That saves it. Spritemare figured it out. He figured out the move, busts out another classy medium tank, and just plays the rest of the turn like pretty defensively. Does KO a few units here, but has a nice overall position. GetGood, though, he's got 2 soiled abominations over on the western front now. That is going to be very difficult for a single soiled abomination to contend with. Might need a friend over there. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see what Spritemare decides to make. Ooh, KOs the tank. Pops another tower shield first. Gets another battlecopter strike out of it as well. So very good. Very good indeed. And Spritemare's not going to be able to attack the medium tank. Like, that's not going to work, folks. It's basically going to be roughly around the same as the Neo tank strike, more or less, right? It's just, it's not really going to work. Yeah, it's literally the exact same, just different units. Another classy medium tank. All right, GetGood. I like where you're going here. That is a very classy front over there, folks. But is it enough to hold back the army. Is it enough to hold back the army? I don't know. We'll find out. We shall find out, folks. Alright. Spritemare has to pull back. He's got to pull back. He can't be fighting into that now. That's a little bit too dangerous to fight into now. Loses the battlecopter, but I'm fairly certain that he's okay with that kind of a loss. Ooh, another battlecopter strike. Okay. Okay. Alright, GetGood is making a play. He is making a play, and he's moving in with a lot of tech over here on the western front. Holding strong over on the eastern front now. Spritemare has to make something happen, folks. Both players are slowly running out of time as well, sitting at 6 minutes, sitting at 4 minutes. Both of them are around the same amount of time, so there's not really too much of a buffer here for either player. Alright, we've got a tank sacrifice and a tank sacrifice and a tank sacrifice and a battlecopter strike and a tank strike to eliminate the tank. Let's just flippin' replay that, folks, because that was a good one. Pops the tower shield. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then moves in with the Neo tank to first strike the other Neo tank. 6-9 trade over there, and even uses the classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web to attack a battlecopter. Absolutely wild stuff. 35,000 funds. Builds another Assault Abomination. Very disappointed. I was hoping this was going to be Mega Tank territory over here, but, you know, is what it is, folks. This Neo Tank does not actually cover this. You know what? There's no excuse here, folks. There's absolutely no excuse. Where's my Mega Tank? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5. Yeah, well, whatever. It would have almost been the perfect cover to the classy medium tank up there if it wasn't for forests, folks. Forests exist, and they slow down the Mega Tank, and it's very sad. Very sad indeed. Now, I don't even know if we're going to be seeing a Mega Tank in this game now, and that makes me sad. Alright, medium on tank action over here. Does the old double hit. Clears the infantry, and I think that is a safe medium tank at the moment. I don't believe that this medium tank can hit it. No, it can't. Battlecopter could potentially hit it, but that's about it. It'd almost be worth it to go in for that attack. The medium tank right now is sitting on a road. That does not have a whole lot of defense. Oh, a 6-7 trade this time. Because Spritemare has co-power. And just like that, folks, 1 Neo tank versus 2 Neo tanks ends the turn and then starts their next turn 1 HP and 2 HP ahead of the other 2 Neo tanks. Rigged. Absolutely rigged, folks. Let's see if one of these Neos are going to fall. Is this Neo going to fall? Oh, the classiest unit in Advanced Wars attacks first, followed up by the Neo tank, and it has been taken out, folks. We finally have a KO. We finally have a KO on one of these units, and I am very, very happy that it was the Neo tank and not the classiest unit. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff, folks. But it does appear like Spritemare now has a very solid position all around, especially with the tower shield being popped. Day 20, GetGood manages to clear a few infantry, pops a tower shield himself. And it looks like he's finally going to be getting a property, folks. One of those properties is finally going to be captured. Very nice. Oh, we got a Neo on medium action. No, it's taken so much damage. But it has not fallen, folks. Our classy friend is holding up against a stenchful stink cannon over there. And you gotta love him for it, folks. Oh, and then he sacrificed him. The medium tank makes the ultimate sacrifice. Sacrifices itself into the Neo tank. Followed by his friend, the 7 HP tank. Goes in, sacrifices himself. So that a soiled abomination could just move up. 2 of them. Taking out one of the soiled abominations. Very, very noble. Very noble of our classy friend. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. And at that point, with that move, with the classiest sacrifice in Advance Wars, GetGood resigns and Spritemare is the winner. What an absolutely brutal game. What a brutal pillow fight between these two players. What a fantastic match. Congratulations to both players. GetGood played a fantastic game. Spritemare was just a step above the rest today, folks. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one, and if you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.